নমস্কার, আমি পুষ্পেন সান্যাল। আমি বর্তমানে হুগলি রয়্যাল পিটিতে কর্মরত অ্যাজ এ সাব ইন্সপেক্টর। আমি গত 6 নভেম্বর 2021 সালে আমি ওসি গুড়াপ যখন ছিলাম তখন আমার একটা অ্যাক্সিডেন্ট হয়। সেই অ্যাক্সিডেন্টের সময় আমাকে হুগলি রয়্যাল পিটির সহায়তায় আমি নারায়ণ সুপারস্পেশালিটি হাসপাতালে ভর্তি হই এবং সেখানে টানা আমি 25 দিন থাকি। ডক্টর অতুল শ্রীবাস্তব স্যার আমার একটা অপারেশন করেন। আমার পেলভিস, ফিমার এবং হিউমারাস তিনটে ভ্যালুয়েবল বোন আমার ফ্র্যাকচার হয়েছিল এবং অতুল স্যারের তত্ত্বাবধানে এবং নারায়ণীর টিমের একান্ত প্রচেষ্টায় আমি বর্তমানে আবার নিজের কর্মে ফেরাতে পেরেছি এবং আগের জীবনটা আমি ফিরে পেয়েছি এবং তাদের কাছে আমি সারা জীবন কৃতজ্ঞ আমার এই নতুন জীবনের জন্য। ভালো থাকবেন, সুস্থ থাকবেন।
Hello, I am Dr. Atul Shrivastava, Orthopaedic Surgeon at Narayana Superspeciality Hospital, Howrah. Today I am going to share with you an interesting case of a 42-year-old policeman who suffered a road traffic accident on highway near our hospital. So he suffered polytrauma, as we call it, injuries to multiple aspects of the body. So when he was brought to our emergency department, patient was in a very bad state. He had suffered from a lot of internal bleeding. His hemoglobin had fallen to a very critical level of 4 and he had got multiple injuries in the form of fracture of his left arm, fracture of his pelvic bone, fracture of his left femur and also multiple fractures of ribs. So when he was brought to the emergency department, he was initially stabilized, hemodynamically stabilized, and he was in a very critical state. So for the first 24 hours he's received multiple blood transfusions to improve his hemoglobin, and subsequently I planned him for surgeries to operate on his fractures. So the first surgery we did was for his pelvic fracture, and subsequently he also had 2 more surgeries. One, we had to put a rod on his left femur, and also we put a plate on his left shoulder. After this, patient underwent lot of rehabilitation process over the next almost 1 year. For initial 1 or 2 months he was almost bedridden because of the multiple fractures he had sustained. He was not able to move around, but with good physiotherapy and rehabilitation, now patient is able to go back to his old police job and also able to do some amount of jogging and running. So the important fact which I wanted to share is the most important thing is the emergency or the initial management of such road traffic accident patients. If such patients should be brought to the hospital as soon as possible, and that patient survived the accident mainly because of our emergency team. So good emergency support is very important in initial period of a road traffic accident patient, because the first 24 hours is what is called a golden period and also the critical period. That time it becomes the question of life and death. So if the patient is able to survive the first 24 hours and can be hemodynamically stabilized, then further he can go undergo surgeries and rehabilitation as well. So it is very important that patients who suffer accidents from highway injuries are brought to the hospital on urgent basis and receive that emergency care, so that patients like our own policemen can go back to their normal life and regain their jobs and go on with their work.